120 Persian princes wanted the single head of an old Hebrew. Babylon had drowned in blood under the rapid Median advance, but the cold stone corridors of the new rising empire remained poisoned by deadly political envy and dangerous pride. Daniel governed high above all the imperial satraps. He constantly audited the public ledgers, broke wicked schemes of bribery, exposed secret corruption, and refused every crooked offer. The corrupt nobles clearly understood that they would never uncover a single flaw in his daily administrative duties. Their only possible weapon to destroy his spotless life was his deep, non-negotiable devotion to his Creator. Daniel carried heavily upon his shoulders 80 long years of brutal exile, painful captivity, and dangerous survival under cruel, insane tyrants. He watched Nebuchadnezzar completely lose his mind in the dark wilderness, and he saw Belshazzar get violently slaughtered the exact night the fierce Persian warriors invaded the Great Walls. Now, King Darius prepared to crown him supreme ruler over every single province in the entire realm. That bold decision signed the prophet's silent death sentence inside the shadowy halls of the royal palace. The bitter enemies moved swiftly. They manipulated the proud monarch into signing an irrevocable royal decree that strictly forbade any man from making petitions to any god or human leader except the sovereign himself. The penalty was ruthless and absolute. The guilty rebel would be thrown alive into the dark pit of starved imperial beasts. Daniel heard the decree echo loudly across the wide marble courtyard. He understood precisely what that new command meant for his neck. The prophet did not gather armed bodyguards or escape through the heavy city gates. He walked back home, climbed the creaking wooden stairs, and opened the latticed windows facing the ruins of Jerusalem. Beneath the desert heat, he bent his knees and cried to God. They took prayer out of schools and want to silence faith in the public square. Do you believe the church in America is waking up or backing down? Speak your mind. Armed spies kicked the heavy door open and caught the elderly prophet in prayer. Daniel was violently dragged before the golden throne, while Darius realized the bloody trap. The king fought until the final sunset, trying to revoke his decree, but Median laws were Median iron chains that no earthly crown could ever break. As thick darkness fell over the land, imperial guards marched Daniel to the sharp edge of a deep pit carved directly into the cold bedrock. From the bottom rose a hot, putrid stench of decaying flesh and dry bones. The hungry roars made the ground shake beneath their boots. Darius looked straight into the calm eyes of the prophet and whispered in pure despair that the God of Israel might deliver him from the slaughterhouse. Daniel was pushed into the dark void and landed hard upon dust and dry human bones. A massive stone slab rolled over the top opening, completely cutting off the fresh night air. The royal signet ring poured boiling red wax to seal the tomb before the smiling plotters. Deep inside the pit, massive predators rose in the shadows with tense muscles. Sharp claws scraped the limestone, and glowing yellow eyes locked onto the prey. Daniel neither screamed nor stepped backward. Before the first leap could tear his throat open, a flash of supernatural authority filled the dark tomb. An invisible force locked the lion's hungry jaws like solid iron bars. Daniel refused to compromise his principles before the empire. Has modern Western Christianity lost its backbone or kept its strength? Comment below. In the royal palace, the broken king rejected all food, sent the musicians away, and paced his chamber all night. Sharp remorse sliced through his chest. He knew his foolish vanity had condemned an innocent leader to violent death. The very first light of dawn barely touched the horizon when Darius ran frantically toward the pit, screaming in raw terror through the stone crack to see if the living God had saved his servant. The answer rose clear, steady, and alive from the deep ground. Daniel spoke with a remarkably peaceful voice, declaring that the sovereign God had sent his angel to shut the mouths of the violent beasts. Not a single sharp tooth had grazed his flesh, because before the heavens and the Persian crown, no deceit, rebellion, or treason was found upon his hands. Immense relief exploded through the king's chest like rolling thunder in the morning sky. The heavy stone was quickly rolled away by terrified soldiers. Daniel was lifted out of the pit by thick ropes under the golden sun. The prophet's body was completely untouched by claws, without a single drop of spilled blood, demonstrating the supreme power of God before the greatest rulers of the ancient world. The king's burning fury turned directly against the wicked officials. Darius instantly commanded the public arrest of every single man who engineered the malicious plot. They were dragged to the pit and hurled into the dark. Before their falling bodies could even strike the stone bottom, the ravenous beasts leapt violently into the air, crushing their bones and tearing their flesh apart in seconds. Darius took his bronze pen and wrote a powerful decree to be proclaimed across all provinces, languages, and vast territories. The imperial order commanded every living soul on earth to tremble and revere the God of Daniel, whose eternal kingdom shall never fall and whose holy power breaks the pride of mortal men. Daniel lived through the following reigns as an unshakable pillar inside the royal pagan courts. He grew old, writing sacred prophecies about the collapse of earthly empires and the final victory of heaven. His legacy remains forever carved into human history. Unbroken obedience to God silences the fiercest predators on earth.